Hey, howdy, and how's it going? My name is Anthony Pinaro-Matas, and I'll be discussing the issues with detecting Nile monitors for Varanus niloticus. The current methods for detection of the Nile monitors are through visual surveys by both and on land and capture. The surveys rely on the visual acuity of the researchers, while trapping can go through some capture bias, and as well as having one detection per each trapping occasion. And that essentially means it's just the time, before the trap is checked. That definition is from Borchers and Effords 2008 paper. The first technique I will go over is the use of detection dogs. Now, detection dogs are used to locate live animals or some presence of them, examples being scat or their burrows, to give researchers information on abundance, presence, and habitat associations, etc. Now, some pros for using detection dogs: it'll take less time to determine their presence, and it can cover more ground than just people alone, and the cons would be varied results based on environmental conditions, the trainings, and they can also be quite expensive. One study done on Texas tortoises by Moeller et al. Wanted to differentiate between how long it would take to find these tortoises based off telemetry, detection dogs, and visual surveys, all which have no prior knowledge of tortoise locations. They determined that finding tortoises were 6, 7, and 40 times slower when compared to the control of finding tortoises with access to their known locations, respectively. And in the same study, the cost of the detection dog was $10,000, so they could only use the one dog in the study. The second technique is using camera traps. Now, camera traps detect an animal's presence by capturing videos, images, or time-lapse footage with minimal human presence. Now, some of the pros of using camera traps: you get an extended observation period, they can be cost-effective, efficient, and usable in difficult terrain, while the cons would be technical difficulties with the cameras, the processing time afterward, the FOV, and of course, theft. A study by Mick Campbell et al. Assessed the use of baited and non-baited traps for detecting snakes. They used live bait rabbits. The time-lapse cameras were the most cost-effective way to detect snakes during the study period. This comes from the whole extended observation period that the cameras gave them. Additionally, there was another study on evaluating methods to detect and monitor Argentine giant tegus by Engman et al. They detected tegus on all possible days the camera was able to detect the giant tegus. Citizen science is the third technique, and citizen science uses inputs from non-professional volunteers to collect data to support scientific research. It is also one of the more frequently used methodologies in research for Nile monitors in the state of Florida. Some pros to citizen science is that you're able to access more areas, more public areas, without needing to have your researchers out there. And it's efficient because you have all those eyes looking for the animal of interest. And of course, it's also a learning opportunity for the public. Some cons: you can get some imperfect detectability, there's a lot of data processing afterward, and you may not get everyone that you reach out to cooperate in the research, which may be due to constraints on them, like having a job and they can't do it, or they just don't want to go out and look for the animal of interest. A study by Genevieve et al. Used sightings of Nile monitors from personal encounters posted on the internet, as well as from reptile relocation groups and iNaturalist. In the end, the group had a total of 419 usable data points. And for a different study over by Mazzotti et al., they reached out to over 112,000 individuals and only got 55 reports of invasive lizards. And the verifiable sightings of Nile monitors was 15 out of 30. And that could either be due to misidentification, or they just didn't have enough information to verify that what the citizens saw was a Nile monitor. As for my recommendation, it depends on other factors, which may include study design, study area, habitat type, etc. But if you're detecting them in a urban area, then citizen science may be the best way to do it. If you just need to detect them in an area, like around burrows and such, camera traps may be the more effective way to do it. But if you need to cover some ground and on some protected area, then maybe detection dogs would be the way to go. These here would be my citations that were helpful in making this project. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to place them down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.